In what can only be described as a landmark main event for Reality of Wrestling, the return of AQA to challenge Promise Braxton for the Diamonds Championship wasn't just another title bout. It was a deeply personal, emotionally significant clash between past legacy and present dominance, filled with history, symbolism, and high-stakes action. Nearly a year removed from her last appearance inside a Reality of Wrestling ring, AQA stepped back into the spotlight with a heavy heart and purpose beyond competition, to honor the life and memory of Tim Person, a retired U.S. Marine, and her beloved pastor from Melvin, Alabama, who was recently taken from this world. This wasn't just a comeback for AQA. This was closure, tribute, and a chance to finish her story where it all began. AQA, who began her wrestling journey under the guidance of Booker T himself, rose from humble beginnings in the Raw Fantasy camp to become not only a Diamonds champion, but the most watched competitor in the promotion's history, garnering more than 30 million views and serving as a catalyst for the division's rise to prominence. Her presence in this match symbolized the foundation on which the current era stands. But standing across the ring was Promise Braxton, a force who over the last year has forged her own path through grit, strategy, and pure willpower. Having dethroned the longest reigning champion in Diamond's history, Roxy, Promise entered the match not to prove herself, but to cement her status. This wasn't the same young prospect we saw months ago. Promise now moved with the confidence of a champion and the sharp instincts of a veteran. From the moment the bell rang, the energy in the arena shifted. The crowd understood the weight of the moment, one competitor seeking to reclaim her past, the other determined to protect her present. The match itself was an evolving masterpiece, starting with clean technical wrestling and slowly transforming into an intense war of counters, resilience, and mind games. AQA brought her trademark aerial artistry, slipping between the ropes like water, hitting precision dropkicks, arm bars, and near falls that brought fans to the edge of their seats. Every movement felt urgent, deliberate, and full of meaning. On the other side, Promise Braxton's approach was cold, composed, and surgical, targeting AQA's body, controlling the mat game, and answering every flurry with brute force and timed reversals. She showed an incredible understanding of timing, distance, and positioning, cutting off AQA's high-risk offense before it could find its mark. At one point, AQA looked to finish things with her famous shooting star press, a move that had won her titles and headlines, but Promise had her scouted, shoving her off the top rope and quickly transitioning into a sequence of brutal strikes and takedowns. The crowd gasped, commentators were stunned, but AQA kept fighting, showcasing the heart that made her a fan favorite around the world. Multiple times she came close, roll-ups, knockout punches, creative counters, but Promise stayed alive, proving that resilience is part of her identity now. As the match hit its closing stretch, both competitors looked exhausted, bodies bruised, but neither willing to break. It was then that Promise delivered the decisive blows, a perfectly executed modified GTS, followed by a crushing second lift-and drop that drove AQA into the mat with finality. The referee's 3 count sealed the win, and with it, perhaps the greatest victory of Promise Braxton's career. As her hand was raised, you could see in her eyes, this wasn't just a title defense, it was a defining chapter. For AQA, the loss didn't feel like failure. It felt like a powerful goodbye, a final gift to the fans who had watched her grow from hopeful rookie to global standout. She stood, not as a defeated challenger, but as a woman who had given everything she had to this match, this moment, and this company. The crowd stood in applause, not just for the match, but for what it represented, the passing of the torch, the honoring of legacy, and the celebration of a division that continues to evolve. Booker T watched from commentary with pride as one of his earliest students left her final imprint, while another proved beyond doubt that she now leads the charge. This wasn't just the end of a match. It was the end of an era, and the start of something new. As AQA took her final bow, Promise Braxton stood tall in the ring, not only still champion, but now validated, battle-tested, and fearless, ready to carry the Diamonds division into its next era. And with performances like this, both women reminded the world exactly why Reality of Wrestling remains the gold standard in Texas wrestling, and